What's going on, Workforce? Brian here.
Chris here.
And today we're talking about Welcome to the Butt Force. That's right, Chris and I both reacted to an incredible parody of the Final Fantasy XIV community. You just like content creation, what you can see, what you can expect. Chris just did his latest reaction. Chris, why don't you kind of give everybody kind of a little summary of what we're talking about, and then we're just gonna we're gonna have fun with this one.
I mean, there's definitely been some playfulness over the years as far as kind of our thumbnails and our titles, where somebody will post like a joke thumbnail. Usually I get a good laugh, but then like a little part of me wants to post a comment and has posted comments like, so will somebody make the video on the other side of this thumbnail? Like, I know you think you were joking, but like I do want to click it.
Yeah.
And so Athleon did it. Like, there's a video on the other side of that thumbnail that doesn't just mock us. It pokes fun at all of 14 content creation. And actually, it was hard not to say something in the middle of reacting to Jesse Cox's absolutely wonderful video this morning, as I was kind of reacting through that in part 1 and part 2, because he talked about like the 2.5 second cooldown, and he talked about story being a little slow at the start. And so like these things that are just like staples within the 14, like let's talk about the state of 14 now or ever, or is it worth getting into, or is it worth it for this group of people, or switching to from this particular game.
Yeah.
Those things come up a lot, those two disclaimers. And so it was really funny to hear Jesse Cox have those like written into his script. And Athleon, of course, you know, mocking that, and then 22 minutes later. And so now 22 minutes later, I was really bummed my reaction to him didn't make it to 22 minutes.
Oh, that fail.
Have something at 22 minutes. Any of you Vlogbrothers fans, Hank did a post recently where he talked about somebody ran the analytics on the word for word transcripts, and while Hank and John talk differently, they don't plan for this, they actually were like exactly tied on the average number of words per post. And he made a post about like that whole thing, but then that post didn't have that exact number of words, which was so disappointing, because that would have been like such a meta thing for him to have edited it so it was also identically 742 words or whatever it was.
Oh man, that's fantastic. The way I want to go with this is that I really want to kind of like restart and just like literally do that intro. So what's up, butt fours? Butt to ass here, ass to game here, and today we're talking about is Final
Fantasy. Hello butts.
Hello butts was
Zeppla.
Yeah. I missed the Zeppla thing, and then it literally went and did the and then he also kind of had a little bit of Mione and then reaction stuff. I don't think we were the reaction channel, but who knows. I have never, that wasn't essentially the style. So I was like, who's that? And somebody was saying, is that Larry? So I don't know. He'd have to have that animated if he wanted that to be it. But all I thought it was really spot on. Your assessment, like I watched your reaction to it, not live. I watched it after it went up this weekend. And I was just cracking up all over again. Namely because when it ended, you were so disappointed. And I was like, yeah, that feels about right. Like that. Like Chris definitely wants more of that. He wants more of that reaction and more of that content. And I was just happy to see that at least Athleon's being able to run ads on the content itself. He is monetized. So I was like, good. Hopefully this blows up for him.
I can't run ads on my reaction.
Right, because you actually brought it.
Because I showed a Day 9 post, and the music that Day 9 has in the back of his post, that music artist claimed the entire video.
You could fight it. You could fight that as free, as like you're sitting here as etc. I would appeal it. I wouldn't lie. It won't hurt you. You're not gonna lose your channel.
Strikes are permanent. That post is only gonna get.
No, I don't think they're gonna fight you over 5 cents. So anyway, that's your choice. It's your choice to donate that to the media conglomerate that is the music industry. I'll leave it up to you on that one. But I really did enjoy your post and your reaction to it. What do you think his biggest mistake was? Like for anybody who has not yet seen your reaction,
that there weren't more of him. Like him and the beanie the whole time. Like if you're trying to be all these people, there was a wardrobe change halfway through.
Yeah.
He's clearly shown that he has some editing skills. I would have loved to see like him come in and yell at him, like have more of the creators interacting with each other. Maybe 2 of him on the screen at the same time. Like he's clearly shown that he has the capability and he has the desire to like there's time spent. Like that's not something you just go, yeah, I'm just going to record this real quick and throw it up. Like that's scripted, that's planned. Those jokes are probably whittled down from a much larger number of jokes to be that back to back to back to back. if anything, he probably spent more time making fun of us than we spend on any one post we put up.
Scorching review of Work to Game by Work to Game.
I know. It wasn't aimed at us, but I'm going to post again as soon as humanly possible. I was like, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It was just perfect. It was so perfect. I love watching and reading people's reaction to it over on the subreddit. I'm really happy that it's performing well. Have you gotten any kickback in your comments? I did get one comment that was saying like
he posted there.
Well,
he said
did.
It was a good reaction.
Yeah, he posted on mine, but I was asking to see if you had any like negative reaction because I've seen a couple people come in and say that you shouldn't react to this. That he's just being mean. He's just being rude.
No,
and
some people didn't think it was funny, but that's fine. Humor is subjective.
Yeah, humor is always going to be subjective. I think where the comment that I saw that stood out, I decided to stop replying because I was like, I'm not going to win an internet argument, but it's the mindset that it's like by me talking about it, like. That's bad. It's like I should just, like we should just bury it and ignore it. And that's like, I mean, I subscribe to the opposite theory. Work to Game is the opposite theory. Right. More discussion is better in that regards. More discuss, like even if we were going to talk about something that like maybe irritated us within Final Fantasy, like we're going to be a channel that sits down and talks about that because I think essentially when you look at the majority of humanity, they'll see that and they'll be like, that doesn't bother me. Or they'll be like, oh, that's interesting. That also bothered me too. But it doesn't prevent them from leaving the game. And same thing when it comes to content creation. It's that if we're sitting here trying to like police and be like, oh, I shouldn't post that. Like, I don't think we're actually benefiting anybody. I think if anything else, like, let's say he was being malicious or like just like had the worst of intentions and his one spoof video would take down somebody else's channel. That would be something interesting if that's ever happened in history. I'm not really well aware of it.
I already trusted his reaction.
Yeah.
Because I'd already watched stuff from him before.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of him.
And so I'd already seen some of his other posts.
Okay.
And so he doesn't have enormous view counts, but like I'm already among them. And so I'd already seen some of them. And so I've seen a couple other posts pop up in my feed. And as I grabbed reactions for stream today, I'm not going to grab those blind, as other people are like, well, I can be funny too. I saw a couple in the feed. When I looked up Final Fantasy XIV as I prepped for stream today, and we're now doing reactions in the morning every morning instead of just, instead of bulking them all into Thursday, I'm now going to spread them out across all 5 mornings in the week. And
so you can actually play games during the day?
I can actually play more games on Thursdays. And so that the reaction, like it's tiring content to make because you're trying to stay really engaged. Especially for somebody that does a lot of chill content. So it's easier for me to just kind of like, I'll just give it the most active starting point in my stream. And then as it starts to tire me out, we'll just go do other stuff. So we went and leveled this afternoon.
As your coffee press or your can of Monster, not sponsored, like goes like down. It's like he has the energy and then it's
I like coffee. I like energy drinks. I don't like ones with artificial sweeteners. So as I just speak to you future sponsors out there, like, where you at? Red Bull, the peach flavor, delicious. Monster, like the base flavor right out of the box, very good to go. I love coffee. I drink it black. Like, come on, guys. There's plenty of other brands that I've enjoyed. Even one of my local gas stations has like their own. I don't know what they're recanning because I doubt they developed their own. Come on, where are you guys at?
If anybody was just curious as to what happened, I dropped my my wedding ring, which if you guys don't know, it's the Crystal Exarch's ring. Julie got this for me as a wedding present, and so I. Brian doesn't like Final Fantasy. That would be a lie. It's like he wears it on his hand any chance he can get. All right, so yeah, I've seen that, and it's like I was just kind of curious because I was like I was expecting. I didn't know what I was really expecting. I'm really glad that he enjoyed that we reacted to it. Hopefully, we were able to toss him some traffic. I really just always enjoy that. Like you can make fun of me till the sun comes home, especially if it's rooted in truth. Like if it's rooted in something that I do. I have
not picking on somebody's insecurities very intentionally, not digging at somebody's, like if they say they struggle with their weight, not digging at their weight. If somebody's uncomfortable with face cam, going and finding a picture of them and revealing that, right? If there's not something mean spirited about it.
Right. I would say, like in my case, don't bring my kids into it. Right. Like that would be like, okay, so feel like here's my verbal written permission. Meme on me, make as much fun as me as you want. I've been long waiting for somebody to literally clip because I have phrases and I know I have these phrases. I don't naturally think of them, but when I'm editing our videos, I go, I said it again. And I've been just waiting for somebody to be like, here's Brian, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Like just, like, okay, and like how things change and how things, I don't know. I didn't know what would be funny about that, but I just was like, I wonder if somebody's ever going to pick up on this and it's literally going to become like a thing. And who knows if that will ever happen. But yeah, I guess when it comes to that, just leave my kids out of it. They don't need to. They're not content. They're not here for y'all's, like discussion and, and memeing on. Let them become adults, and if they go do stupid things when they're adults, then that can be on their choice at that point.
If anything, I think follow-up posts were requested.
Yeah.
Why don't you go talk about all the people reacting WoW to 14? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you go talk about people talking about the free trial? Like, there's all these other memeable moments within the community. Go drive those home. So I think if anything, there was a request for more there. And if Athleon chooses to do that, and he finds, wow, now I'm starting to make posts that people request, and then they get lots of views because people want them. And then I look at the time that I have to make videos and I make the ones that people request. And those are the ones that perform the best. So now I could be seen as view chasing. Like, does he accidentally become the thing he's mocking?
Yeah.
Because I think you find out real quick when people do all that, they're like, oh, wow. And that thumbnail got clicked twice as often, which means it made it out to more people, which means that I got all this engagement and all these people came in and really liked it and were so thankful for it and got introduced to my channel. And now they're watching my other content too. And they're thankful for that. And then you're like, this is why we do it. Like, I know Bellular's gone on in length about how frustrating having to do titles and thumbnails the way you do is, but it is absolutely part of it. And so it was fun to, I pointed out to him, like, if you want people to click the please click thumbnail, you got to bold that font up, man.
You got to bold that font up.
You got to bold that
I like
font.
what you said, though, because, like, oftentimes when we use a title, especially that's sensationalized, like, there is a connection to a quote that it's being said, but we never wrapped it in quotes. And I think essentially, like, we were talking about this morning, and it's like, hey, let's actually put that in quotes because it then communicates. It communicates that, like, yeah, we're actually quoting somebody. Somebody's like, you guys are, like, have negative posts. Like, maybe, like, one a month would be my estimate. And it's typically around, like, when I remember when we were out at the media tour, came back, like, a lot of people in chat, a lot of people on the live stream kept calling Shadowbringers casual bringers. Because they're like, they've nerfed it. It's just going to be just like Candyland. And we're like, casual bringers, what is this? And people are like, you're calling this casual? It's like, if you get to 2 seconds into the video, no, we're not. We're actually refuting that claim. But a good lesson that, like, we were just talking.
And there were people who asked why we were even invited to the media tour as the people who didn't like 14. And that comes from our titles and thumbnails. And so I don't think our titles and thumbnails are something that needs a wide scale change, but I do think that within them, especially when we're tackling negative topics, one of the things we've learned over the last couple of weeks is we've, of course, reflected back on how do we constructively get better as creators, right? Action at least is something that I think you and I both, it's very helpful for you and I to grieve by acting. I think, you and I both share that.
I'm
if I'm having a bad day, one of the things I do is like, if I'm having a bad day, one of the healthiest things I can do is go work out or go clean my house or go. And it's not always the most productive thing on my list. Sometimes I go pick something that I can get an easy win on, and it's not what I should be doing, but I go do something. And so, we post a lot. And as we've looked at kind of over the last week or so, what can we do to be better creators when we've kind of had those moments of insecurity of, are we good creators? I think putting things in quotes in our titles would really help differentiate when we're frustrated with something, which does happen, and when we're putting up a topic, because there are a number of people that gauge us only from title and thumbnail, and you would literally only need to give us 30 seconds to know that's not true, but that's clearly not happening.
Yeah. And I think that's something that would be an easy fix to go over it, because we, as a discussion channel, want to talk about what people are talking about. And if you go look at the 14 discussion subreddit, like a lot of the things that we're talking about, sometimes they're starting to talk about it now. Now, we've already made that video. We're not going to be like, hey, it's part 3 of the same
we won't
discussion.
Change titles after the fact.
But it's like, at the end of the day, like, that's what we are and how we viewed this channel and how we've seen its growth, and have been more excited that. That's where it's like, I think when it coming back to the main core topic of the spoof video, like, it would have been great from an editing perspective to see him actually kind of having two versions of himself, one of me, one of you, to really kind of nail home the work to game sketch of it, because, like, I think that is a difference maker that we are. Like, when you look at, like, what separates work to game from the other content creaters out there, is that
pros and cons.
There's pros and cons. There's 2 of us, and
there's plenty of people who are like, I really only like one of them.
Yeah. Well, good news. Have you heard of Ginger Prime and Gaming Kinda? That's and some people, like, they were like, I are still discovering that. But people are still discovering that today, which is really exciting because I actually had that conversation. Like, when did you create Ginger Prime? Like, I didn't know about this. It's like, well, it's actually a fun story. And so then I go off and tell the story of the birth of the Ginger Prime and gaming kinda, and like how that all came to pass. And what ends up being the strength of it is that, because people always mention me. They're like, man, Brian, like I like you, but I can't stand that Chris guy. And I'm like, well, thanks for liking me, but I'm not going to dump my friend and be like, sorry guys, because that's the nature of a discussion. Sometimes we also disagree. And, I've taken the position sometimes. That's not the popular opinion. And that's when people go, this Chris guy is really growing on me. I don't know I used to really like Brian, but I'm not so sure about him right now. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's kind of how that's come to pass and how that content's differentiated. And I think it's been, a real key I guess success and thing that we can kind of play around with more topics without necessarily overwhelming you with a work to game post every couple hours, because we were doing that for a while.
Most we ever did in a day was 7. That was not like an event day.
Yeah,
right? Event days were different. But we hit 7 like multiple days in a row.
Yeah,
like 40 posts in a week.
Yeah. That was a great week. But to kind of wrap up this video, kind of put a kind of button on it, guys. The Athlon post will be, and we'll tag him in this video. So if you want to go check out the original source material, we would love it. We'd love it for you to go give it a watch, see what you think. You might like it, you might not like it, you might be indifferent to it. But honestly, I think, at least from my perspective, as I always appreciate people who are willing to put themselves out there and to try to make something, especially comedy. I think comedy is very risky because it can easily border on offensive. And so I was not offended. I thought it was hilarious, but I can only speak to my, obviously the portion that's focusing on Brian on this case. So hopefully everybody else got a good laugh at it. And hopefully from the community perspective, we can laugh and we can just have fun with, the things that are silly about content creation and covering the game and things like that. Because that's just my thoughts. Chris, you got any final ones?
No, just thank you, JG, for coming in and sharing your Prime with us.
Yeah, thanks, JG, for that. And thanks for all the followers over here on Twitch. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 2 p.m. Central Time. If you guys want to come hang out with Chris while he does all kinds of cool things. Especially, you just heard it now, breaking news. Some reaction content in the morning. So if you guys got a video or something like that you want to see Chris take a crack at and whatnot for Gaming Kinda, be sure to hang out. We'll get that video edited and uploaded. Chris has got a massive backlog, so just buckle up. You might be seeing 2 videos from him a day while he kind of gets through his massive backlog.
Especially some of these ones that are part 1, part 2. So today I'm going to publish the second one because it's a part 1, part 2.
Cool. All right, guys, for Work to Game, my name's Brian, ass crack, bada bop.
My name's Chris.
I was hoping you'd laugh. I was like, I'm going to get him. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and take care.